welcome back to the Who Are You to Lead Anyway podcast, where we embark on a journey of growth and empowerment to navigate leadership in life. I am Cynthia, your host, and if you've just found me and my work, I am so happy that you're here for the first time, and today is such an exciting day. The waitlist for the Leadership Lens, the program for new, emerging, and high potential leaders that I have been creating since January 2023, is open. It has been such a labor of love, and I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. So the link will be in the show notes, and I also have a special gift for those who sign up to get informed about all the details and the surprises that I have in store for you. When you sign up, you will receive a complimentary guide for new leaders with 8 lessons learned the hard way so that you don't have to. I so hope that you join us. It is going to be so much fun to grow together. And if you are listening in the future, I think what I would say is just check out my website and see where I am. See what's happening then. Okay, so for today, this is episode 41. I'm really excited. Episode 41, and my intention is to dive into the transformative world of boundaries, uncovering what they are, why we need them, how to set and communicate them effectively. And toward the end of the podcast, I have 3 questions that I offer for you to contemplate around your own boundaries. So to kind of set the stage, there are 6 boundary areas. Actually, let me say something in addition to that. I do want to set the stage for the 6 boundary areas. And I also want to say that the way that I designed this episode is, boundaries are incredibly complex. I am not a boundary expert. I am a human who is also learning through boundaries myself. And I see so much need for this to be a podcast episode topic just to get the conversation started. So this will be that for you. That's my intent. It's kind of like a high-level review of it so that you can just kind of dive in, be curious about it, ask yourself some questions, and go from there. Okay, so the 6 boundary areas are physical, sexual, intellectual, emotional, material, and time. So time is the one that has precipitated and inspired this episode because it's the one boundary that comes up most within the context of coaching that I do with new leaders like you. So I want to start by first debunking some misconceptions. So I want to address a common misconception amongst new leaders, which is the belief that saying no is off limits. In truth, it's essential to say no when necessary to prioritize what matters most within the work that you are doing. Boundaries do teach others how to treat us, and they create a positive work environment when they are healthy. So as a new leader, setting boundaries or setting a new boundary isn't a sign of weakness. It is a mark of a strong and effective leader. And by communicating your own self-worth, fostering respect, and empowering others, you will lead authentically. Okay? Now, boundaries isn't also just around saying no. It can also be redirecting. And we'll touch on that as we go forward in the podcast. So let's unravel the why. Often there is such a reluctance from us to set boundaries that stems from unfamiliarity. Without a proper role model to show us what healthy boundaries look like, we might not even know what that is, let alone how to set and communicate it. So this is an opportunity to really gain some self-awareness and recognize the need for change. If you have been with me for some time, you've heard me say that self-awareness is the beginning of everything. Without it, we are never clear on what could be changed or what we want to change or what needs to change. Self-awareness is the catalyst for everything. So what are some indicators of healthy boundaries? Healthy boundaries offer a sense of inner safety and security. So you likely, if you have healthy boundaries, you're probably not experiencing a lot of negative emotion, of frustration, resentment, anger, or burnout. And so by being clear about your values and listening to your own opinions and being comfortable with saying no, you lay the foundation for self-sufficiency and respectful relationships within the context of work and also personally. So I want to take an opportunity to share a client success story. Last week, one of my clients faced a lot of negative emotion when they were asked to take on additional project work, which was going to require 100% of their time alongside of their existing workload. They really were fearful of losing credibility and promotional opportunities, and therefore avoided the conversation altogether. So we just explored the solutions, what could be possible. And throughout that session, they identified key boundaries. I'm not going to share all of them with you, but they did identify some that were really important that they were going to communicate and have communicated to the leader, which was this. In order to take on the work, they could allocate 50% of their time to the project with check-ins, defined check-ins. They also needed to be able to leverage capable resources for project support. They had to set start and end dates in order to manage the workload because, again, they already had a full-time job prior to. And they also needed buy-in from their former leader in order to remove the obstacles. So by aligning these boundaries within their values, they had already created their values. We used the values as a lens to look through the boundaries that they created, and they prepared themselves with some role playing, and they prepared themselves for the decision with comfort and preparation and the conversation. This journey of transformation and growth reminds us that boundaries are not barriers. They pave the path to authenticity and effectiveness in our leadership. So what are some practical tips for boundary setting? Let's explore them. First, raise your awareness. Notice the feelings of discomfort that you're having in your body. Those feelings, especially negative emotions, are signals that boundaries may be challenged. Address them proactively to avoid that frustration, the anger, the resentment, and the possible burnout. The second tip is to grant yourself permission. Embrace the courage to set a healthy boundary, even when it feels uncomfortable. This choice that you can make is creating self-respect and inner authority. The third tip is to align them with your values. Use your values as the compass to navigate the conflict that you're feeling, the discomfort, disease that you're feeling, and guide your boundary setting decisions. The fourth tip is to be assertive. So clearly communicate your boundary in a respectful way by using I statements. Ask for what you want, what you need, what you expect, and hold your need to explain or apologize. That's not required when you're setting a boundary. Remember, this is not your role to change yourself for other people. It's not your role to please other people. It is not your role to do the work of other people. It is your role to respect your own values and to do that work that you have been hired to do. The last tip is to take action by saying no respectfully to tasks and requests that do not align with your responsibilities. Also, reflect on any patterns and themes to identify opportunities for redirection. What I mean specifically is there are a lot of leaders that I work with that because they are high performers and because they are go-to people, a lot of people go to them. And it might be an opportunity for you to just redirect and say something like, well, have you talked to the project lead on this, for a simple example? Okay, so now I want to talk about reinforcing boundaries because setting boundaries is just the beginning. Reinforcing them by honoring your decisions time and time again and to stick to the boundaries that you set and that you communicate. Boundaries, remember, boundaries teach others how to treat you, and setting limits is not likely to disrupt a healthy relationship. It's not likely to disrupt a healthy relationship if you set a boundary. I wanted to say that again. Okay. Embracing discomfort. I want to bring this up because it can be uncomfortable for you to communicate your boundary, and I want you to be able to tend to that discomfort, create your own plan for tending to your discomfort as a part of this journey. Know that your boundaries are not barriers. They are the path to leading authentically and leading effectively. So here are the 3 questions that I want you to consider. The first one is, what areas of your work and life feel overwhelming or draining? Make a list. Take a moment to identify the aspects of your work and personal life that feel overwhelming or draining. Are there tasks, responsibilities, or interactions that consistently leave you feeling exhausted or stressed? If so, reflect on how setting boundaries in those areas can improve your well-being and effectiveness as a leader. The second question I have for you is, are you prioritizing your own needs and goals? So consider whether you are consistently prioritizing your own needs and goals, or often find yourself sacrificing them to accommodate the needs and requests of others. Just reflect on how aligning your boundaries with your values and objectives can help you maintain focus and achieve greater success in your leadership journey. And the third question is, how comfortable are you at saying no when necessary? So explore your comfort level with saying no respectfully to tasks or requests that don't align with your role and responsibilities. I mentioned that earlier. And for some clients that I work with, if that's a bridge too far to be able to say no, one thing I want to offer is you can say, I wish I could say yes. However, I'm committed elsewhere. There will be instances where you will hesitate to decline commitments due to fear of disappointing others or potential consequences. Okay? Reflect on the importance of setting boundaries and the empowerment that comes with gracefully saying no when it's appropriate. So what I want to leave you with is boundaries are a potent tool for empowered leadership. And by setting and communicating boundaries, you will foster respect, balance, and a healthier work environment for everyone, including you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next week, I invite you to lead with courage and embrace the power of setting boundaries. Make it a great one. Hey, listener, it's Cynthia. I want to say thank you for joining this incredible expedition of self-discovery and leadership growth as a listener of the Who Are You to Lead Anyway podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the tips, tools, insights, and conversations with my remarkable guests so far. If you want to take your leadership journey to new heights, join my newsletter where you'll receive exclusive updates, bonus content, and valuable resources to support your ongoing development as a leader. See the show notes for the newsletter sign up. As a token of my sincere appreciation, I want to offer you a complimentary self-discovery workbook designed to raise your awareness around what might be in your way of even greater success. To claim it, simply head over to my website. I'll put that link in the show notes, www.cynthiajamesoncoach.ca. Sign up and your workbook will be delivered right to your inbox. And there is something I would love to ask of you. Your feedback is an incredible gift and is an important part of this community. I really want to know what topics resonate most with you, what guests you'd like to hear from, and how I can serve you better. Your ratings, reviews, thoughts, and feedback will guide me in tailoring future episodes to give you more of what you want and need on your leadership journey. So if you're loving the Who Are You to Lead Anyway podcast, your input means the world to me, and it helps me shape an even more enriching and impactful podcast for you. I would really appreciate your help in spreading the word about the work that we're doing here. Once again, thank you so much for being part of my podcast family and for investing in your leadership growth. Remember, leadership starts with knowing yourself and embracing your unique abilities. Together, let's continue to thrive as authentic and influential leaders. Thank you so much for listening.